Hey guys, and welcome to a new Dungeon Defenders 2 video. I'm your host Mr. Peter, and let's learn about the Sky God Tower. Before we start this video, I'm going to talk about the base kit of the tower. However, if you guys are only interested in the build, I've written the build in the description below, and I've added a timestamp where I start talking about the build in the video. Alright, let's start the video. Sky Guards are anti-air defenses. They specialize on attacking air units or any aerial threat. What I mean about aerial threat is that if you have Earth Shatters with the shard Earth Tossed, you can knock enemies in the air and the Sky Gods will attack them for a brief moment. Really funny to watch. I recommend trying it out for giggles and laugh. However, it's not the best strategy, just eye-peeling. Back to Sky Gods. Sky Gods are burst towers. They will twist their heads and fire 3 projectiles that will damage and slow the air units. If there are 3 wyverns flying around, the Sky Guards will fire 3 projectiles and will attack 3 wyverns. However, if there's only 1 wyvern flying around, only 1 projectile will come out and damage the wyvern. Example, this Sky God here, each projectile is shooting its own target. All 3 can never attack the same target. That's a good thing to remember. So when you guys do look into the stat of the tower, don't look at the DPS for this tower, as it's not entirely telling the truth. Each projectile shot will do whatever the attack damage stat is. In this case, it's 23,609 damage. As you can see, the dummies don't lie. The tower is dealing that damage. Of course, when it crits, it crits. Now that we've covered the base kit of the tower, let's improve it. The most important rule of the game is to max the attack rate of a tower, so we need to go to our Ascension tab and put all our points onto the attack rate in the defense tree. Of course, if you have any remaining points, put it into your Sky God defense power. On the utility tree, put points onto your crit damage, onto crit chance, and lastly put points onto the range gamut. We still haven't reached the tower's max attack rate yet, so we need a gilded defense rate shard to max the attack rate. To get a gilded defense rate shard, you can find it in Chaos 4 or you can buy it from the Grandmaster. You'll need 10 of the same shards plus the one you're upgrading, so 11 in total, and merge them together. Now that we have the max attack rate, the next thing we need is damage. We'll be using the shard Destruction. This will provide us with defense power. You can find this shard in Chaos 1. Now lastly, we need range. Range is really important on this tower. The bigger the radius, the earlier the Sky Gods can attack. We'll be using the shard Deadly Strikes. This will provide us with the range. You can find this shard in Chaos 3. This is our new and improved Sky God. Definitely shooting faster and definitely looking dangerous. Now that we've improved our Sky God, let's look into the build. This is our build for the Sky God. Most people in the community run this build because it's extremely effective. I advise everyone to have 2 separate monks because it involves 2 relics. The first relic has Poison, Anti-Range and Controller with Defense Rate, Destruction and Deadly Strikes. The second relic has Earth, Anti-Support and Controller with the same shards. For people who don't know, Poison and Earth is an elemental combo that will turn the enemies to stone. This is called Petrify. This combination is very strong and you'll see why later on. Let's start with the Poison build. The reason why we have chosen anti-range on the Poison build is because the Poison mod does 5% extra defense power per second. This will definitely help us DPS the air units. Also in Onslaught there will be flyer lanes that are control burned. Control burn can only be damaged by enemies who are oiled, chilled, poisoned, drenched or stunned, hence the Poison Sky Gods. Lastly, we have Controller. Once the air units are petrified or slowed from the Sky God tower, the Controller mod will proc and deal percentage damage to them. The air units will take percentage damage for anti-range and percentage damage for Controller. That's a lot of percentage damage and it's going to help us a lot. This is the same principle with the Earth build. Percentage damage for anti-support and percentage damage from Controller. This build does involve having 2 gilded defense ray shard. I know it's not easy getting a gilded defense ray shard, so what you can do is replace the Controller mod on both build with the defense ray mod. However, I do recommend getting a gilded defense ray shard as later in Onslaught air units become tankier. We really need those percentage damage if we want to take out the air units. Before we demonstrate these Sky Gods, I need to add one last build. In Onslaught, sometimes, in very rare cases, you will have a control burn and a headstrong flyer lane. Because they're headstrong, they cannot be petrified. This is where this build comes in. We have water, anti-range and anti-support with the same shards. I actually recommend Controller instead of Anti-Support. It's mostly because Wyverns are tanky, especially in a crowd, so we need to do as much damage to them. Water will drench all the Wyverns. Once they're drenched, the Wyverns will have the slow status effect. The slow on the water and the slow from the Sky God Tower are going to help us cause a lot of traffic. You want to mix this tower with the poison Sky Guards, as both poison and water can affect control burn flyers. Alright, those are the builds for the Sky God Tower. Again, if you didn't catch all of that, I've written all of it in the description below. Before we end this video, let's demonstrate these builds. Welcome back guys, and we're doing Onslaught on floor 252. We'll be using our recommended Sky God Tower build. We got Earth, Anti-Support and Controller with Destruction, Deadly Strikes and Defense Rate. On our other monk we have Poison, Anti-Range and Controller with the same shards. Checking out our flyer lanes, and we have an Air Raid and EMP Dragons. That's a lot of flyers. Can our Sky Guards do it? Let's find out. We have every lane built and I believe it can handle itself, so we're gonna sit back, we're gonna relax and enjoy the fun. The flyers should be coming shortly. Here they come. And there they go. Oh. As you can see, once they're petrified, they drop to the dead zone below and die. Usually it takes a while to kill the Wyverns because they're so tanky. However, on maps with dead zones like this, make this combination super strong. This puts less stress onto our Sky Guards, and us too. We can focus on lanes that are having troubles, whilst our Sky Guards are having fun. What I'm going to do is show you guys these Sky Guards again, but on a different map. Maps without dead zones. Welcome back guys again, and we're still doing Onslaught. We're on floor 267, slightly higher than before. We're still using our Poison and Earth Sky Guards. Just a friendly reminder that the build is written in the description below, so you guys don't have to pause the video and write it down, you can copy and paste it. Again, everything is built so we can sit back, relax and enjoy the show. Some of you may wonder why I have obelisks planted around the map. To summarize it, it's for the EMP Cold Blow. I'll explain why I do this technique in a different video. As expected, they drop. What's great is that when they do drop, sometimes they drop into our defense and die to it. Every little helps when taking out flyers. They're tanky units and they do need to die. In my honest opinion, the builds for the Sky Gods are probably the best ones you can have. You guys can see it, they're crushing it. They're strong and have great utility. I can't think of any builds that can actually compete with this one. Do keep in mind, Spellbreaker flyers and Headstrong flyers do become an issue. You'll have to watch out for those lanes. Also, the higher you go on Onslaught, the more difficult the flyers get. Even though these Sky Gods are strong and have great utility, they do need help on wave clearing. You don't put down 2 cannonball towers and expect them to wave clear. You'll need to put other stuff down to help it out. Example, I put Obelisk down so the EMP Cobblers can dive into it instead of the Sky Gods. Sometimes I put Auras down to trim down the numbers. Sometimes I wrap the crystal with my Reflect Beam to stop the flyers attacking it. Sometimes I put my Boost Auras to give the Sky Gods more stats. There are different ways on approaching flyers. Like I said earlier, every little helps. Anything that can help the Sky God is a big positive. Alright, that's going to be the end of this video. If you did enjoy this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more DD2 content. The next build we'll be talking about will be the Poison Dot Tower, but first let's finish off the primes. I'll see you guys then, take care.